Scrum Masters. Now, the Scrum Master is not a process bureaucrat. They are a change agent devoted to improving their organization. Now, there is a realization across the change industry that a small core team devoted to the change is just not enough. We must build a grand coalition, a volunteer change army spread across the organization. Now, we have these proverbial troops ready and waiting. They are the Scrum Masters. With about 1 to every 7 developers, we have a flexible and scalable change agent model for our business. Now, this is not an easy job. As anyone who's been a Scrum Master can tell you, we all bear the scars. But there are some things we can do to assist this from an organizational perspective. The first one is to embed this concept of change agent into the organizational DNA. Make Scrum Master an actual job and not just a hat to be worn. The view that Scrum Master is a part-time, short-term or temporary role is a reflection on the review that it's just purely a process support and facilitation position. In fact, there is the entire coach and change agent angle. In a larger organization, these parts of the role will come to the fore as the change program expands and the transformation grows. Without embedding this role, we will end up with a variety of people playing the role and focusing on the parts they have time and energy to perform. Now, normally, that's the obvious facilitation and process aspects. We need to ensure success by investing in Scrum Masters, time, money, and skill. Now, time is the most important investment. Alas, training courses are a start, but they're not sufficient on their own. We need to build this massive humanity into a community, turn them from a mob into a network. Now, building institutional tools to assist with the growth and support of this group. These would not be top-down management structures, but more bottom-up support networks. Now, whether you call them communities of practice, webs, networks, guilds, or whatever, they are all underpinning this community. Now, these communities will not only be for sharing of skill and practice, but also to lend support to one another, from one area to another, allowing Scrum Masters to a certain extent flow and load balance each other when changes or issues occur. Now, a metaphor I like to use for this is antibodies. Antibodies in the body as an individual have little or no effect on the health or illness the body suffers from. But in mass, they can have a devastating positive effect on infections. And they're one of the fundamental building blocks of our long-term existence. They fight issues and they fight the causes of issues. Now again, one thing to watch out for. I have seen these communities of practice degenerate into expensive talking shops with much preaching to the choir. So they must be based deep in the reality of the organization and not become too removed, theoretical, esoteric, or worst of all, unhelpful. They must add value to the Scrum Masters at all times. But with those Scrum Masters, we now have the volunteer change army we need.